Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. It is day 60. Yes, it is day 60 of the 100 Day Project, and I want to thank you for joining me. Now, I had seen this idea in various places over the years, but recently one of my subscribers, Debbie, had posted her heart on Instagram that had woven strips in it. Woven strips in it, sorry. And so it prompted me to go ahead and give this a try. Now, I don't have it pinned down very well. I need to pin it down better, obviously. So let me work on that. I should have done that prior. Hers was really stunning. So I know this won't live up to it, but hey, I'm doing my best here, people. Doing my best. I do want to remind everybody to try and be kind in your comments and responses, and to keep this a lighthearted, happier place, because you never know what anybody else is going through. And I've been through enough myself, and I get hurt very easily by comments. I know I need to toughen up and have a thicker skin, but I am who I am, as Popeye would say. And, I just appreciate you being kind and gentle with each other and with me, because, we're all on this earth together, and I don't, like negativity or bullying. I have been through that with some other friends previously, well, people I thought were friends, and it was not pretty. And I stuck up for a friend that was being bullied, and then later on, she turned around and bullied me. So, yeah, it's not cool. Not cool at all. So, let's all just be nice and friendly. And I hope that's, not out of the realm. If there's something I'm doing you don't like, don't watch. It's that simple. Just turn it off. I'm not gonna, come after you and berate you for turning it off. I mean, you're right. But I do like to know that everybody is being kind to each other here. So there's my little gentle reminder. I'm not even going to call it a rant. This one is so giving me a hard time. But, oh, come on, please. Please be good to me. Okay, you go there. That's all I need. Oop, where'd my pin go? Oh, no. There it is. Roly-polied its way away. That's the only part that piece is gonna... We'll see how this goes. I don't have high hopes. But, there's a first time for me doing anything, and I'm okay with that. It just needs to hold together long enough to be good for the first time. So I'm going to, oopsies, move that up there. This needs to come down here. So in case you didn't watch yesterday or didn't hear, we did get our car back. It was supposed to be back today. If you don't know, we were parked in a store parking lot, well, a shopping center parking lot, really. Let's see, it would be about 2.5, 3 weeks ago now. And we went in the store and came out, and this very wonderful lady told us our car had been hit by a pickup truck. So the the person in the pickup truck had taken off. And although the witness thought she had gotten the license plate number, it wasn't coming across as a license plate number to that vehicle. Now, we all have probably heard stories that, license plates get stolen off of vehicles all the time and used on stolen vehicles. So I kind of thought maybe that's what happened, but the policewoman who helped us was supposed to investigate, and she never got back to us. So, c'est la vie. And boy, this would have been a lot easier to machine sew down. Gee whiz. Okay. I don't even know what I'm going to do here. Debbie did a very interesting where she did little seed stitches, I believe. Debbie, correct me if I'm wrong, in every other one. So if she did it in this one, she wouldn't do it in that one and did it in that one. But I'm not going to do that exactly. I am just going to, I think, and I'm using a ginormous needle. I don't know why. Don't ask. I figured with all this fabric to go through, I needed a really strong needle, and I think this is a Milner's needle. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. But it's very strong. It's not going to bend on me if I have to tug and pull on it like some of the thinner, smaller needles. So this is what I'm sticking with today. I'm going to try and make my stitches more like, oh, you need to move a little, don't you? More like Sashiko stitches, more or less. I don't know if you can tell, but the sun is blaring in here, and it is hot. It was 90 degrees on the car thermometer when we were driving home from going to Fredericksburg today. And that was about 2 hours ago. So yeah, it's a warm one, but tomorrow it's supposed to rain, and the temperature is only going to be 71. And then like a couple days in the 70s, I think Saturday and Sunday. And then there's a bunch of days next week where it's only going to be in the 60s again. Welcome to spring in Virginia. The pollen is still blowing everywhere. The green pollen and the oak seedlings and the little maple seedlings and all of that good stuff. Let me see if I can move this light a little more. Sorry for the jiggling. The light and the camera stand are on the same little table. And I tend to forget about that when I'm trying to move the light. I'm sort of trying to tack down what I can here, but this might take a while. So you are welcome to turn me off. You are welcome to speed it up. You're welcome to stop watching or watch and turn down the sound. Whatever floats your boat. I'm good with it. I'm okay. All right. Do I want to... So the reason we had to go to Fredericksburg was there was this really good deal on a camping pot and pan set. And the pot and pans nestle inside each other. And I could have sworn, I even read it off to Tony, and he says he remembers reading it too, and I could go back and look, but I know this is what it said. It said like 1 quart, 2 quart, 3 quart, 4 quart, then a bigger saucepan with handles on the sides. The other ones didn't come with handles. They come with a little metal bracket on the outside, and you click a handle onto it. And they're stainless steel. We don't use nonstick in this house. And there's a Facebook page called Camping and RV Deals, but they have not just stuff for camping and RVing. They have, like, sometimes they have sunglasses, sometimes they have, anyway, these people get these codes to use on Facebook, and you can get the items, put in the codes, and sometimes you get a really good deal. So this pot and pan set was originally, I think, around $130, and it was on sale for $44.29. And because space is at a premium in our little RV, I thought, well, that would be a really good deal. So I brought it up to Tony. He thought it was a really good deal as well. So I ordered it when we were on our way. I think we were on our way out to Blue a couple days ago, and on Wednesday. And so they arrived last night, and I thought, wow, this box is really heavy for the size pots and pans that are supposed to be in it. I didn't think there's a little bit of I gotta make myself happy with this here before I go any further. This has to wiggle up a little bit. Okay, I think that's good. I'm talking to myself over here very quietly. I forgot where I left off. That's still... Oh, well. Too late now. A little space in there. Whatever. I'll blur it. So, I brought it in from the front door where they dropped it. Well, where they left it. And it was a heavy box, but there was a box inside of a box inside of a box. So there was the Amazon box, then there was another cardboard box, and then there was the box that showed the pot and pan set. So I took it out and I unpacked all of the pans, and it came with a saucepan, a Dutch oven with the handles on the side, and then three or four pots that went inside. They were way bigger than I thought they were going to be. I mean, a 1 quart, we have little tiny saucepans here that Tony uses for his oatmeal. We use them for soup for lunch. We use them to cook vegetables in at night. We have 2 of them. But we wanted to stop having to bring the pots and pans like from the van to the car. I mean, from the van to the house and from the house to the van. Then we forget one, and not all of our pans are induction cooktop ready. And we like to use the induction cooktop sometimes when we're not using the gas. Anyway, if we're plugged in, we like to use Tony likes to use the induction. I like to use the gas, because I don't have gas to cook on in my house, and I love cooking on gas because it's so easy to regulate. But anywho's, that's neither here nor there. And so we talked about it, and I looked them over, and we checked them on the induction, and they worked. But I think it's overkill, considering we have all the pots and pans we need in the house. Whoa, let go. I think it's just overkill. So, see how crooked I go? See how slanted they are when I turn it the wrong way? Stick with the program, Martha. So I slept on it overnight, but I decided that we just don't need them. It's if spit it out, Martha. If there had been like maybe a 3-piece set with a frying pan, a small saucepan, and then a larger saucepan, I think I probably would have kept them for the convenience and for the, you know, just, well, more for the convenience. But it just seemed like such overkill that I just didn't feel like we should keep them. So I packed them up this morning and I did the return on Amazon, and we had to drive them to the UPS store up in the city to drop them off. So we did that, and then Tony's like, well, where else do you want to go? And there's this makeup that I've been wanting to try, like a low toxic, safer makeup. But I'm really picky about my makeup, and like for years I'd been wearing Maybelline mineral powder makeup, and it worked for me. I mean, I wasn't happy with it the older I got because it settles in the wrinkles. All the fine lines you get as you age. But then when I started looking into the low toxic lifestyle, why is that still sitting open where my arm is getting poked by pins? It's not a great makeup. There's harmful ingredients, just like there's harmful ingredients in most products that we use nowadays, thanks to our government, and things that are not allowed in other countries are allowed in our products here in the US. So that's a big, like, sore point for me. Anyhow, that being said, anyway, they sell it at Sephora, and Sephora is supposed to be having a sale. So I wanted to try it, but the makeup is expensive. I mean, I grew up, wearing CoverGirl when I first started wearing makeup. I've always had kind of poor skin. Like, it's very poor skin. So I started with CoverGirl, which of course is probably way worse than anything else out on the market. But anyhow, artificial fragrances and all this other stuff. But anyhow, that's what I could afford. And I mean, it was only a couple bucks back when I was a kid in the 70s, well, teenager. So anyway, but yeah, 40 bucks for makeup kills me. It just, like, literally, it kills me to spend $40. But I'd never seen the makeup anywhere. I know Sephora sells it. So we were headed into one shopping center that has a Kohl's, because Kohl's and Penny's both have Sephora's in them now. But I thought the better chance would be to go to the actual Sephora store. And there was one across the street in the mall. So at first I said to Tony, no, I don't want to go. I need a few new shirts for summer, because I didn't buy very many shirts last year for summer. And I change my shirts a lot because I get warm very easily. And so we went into Walmart. Couldn't find anything there I loved. They do have some new styles out that I'm tempted. But even they got more expensive. But they're less expensive than if you buy them in some of the other stores. So I don't know. I may go back at some point and pick one or two of them up. They were real pretty non-stretch shirts. But I mean, I've been wearing stretch for so long. I don't know if I can get in and out of a non-stretch shirt. And it's not a button down, they're pullovers. But like just a fabric shirt, I don't know if I can get in and out of them because they don't stretch. So anyway, I didn't want to try anything on. It was getting close to lunchtime, and I'm like, let's just go. So when we got back in the car, I was telling Tony that one of my qualms about buying this makeup at $40 a pop is if it doesn't work for me, because I had tried a low toxic makeup that I got from another store, and stupidly I threw away the receipt, and when I was wearing the foundation, it would make my eyes sting. Now, I wasn't putting it on my eyes. I was just using it on my face. But like when I put it under my eyes, as the time wore on that I was wearing it, it would make my eyes sort of sting, and I'd be rubbing them, and I was uncomfortable. So I ended up throwing the makeup away. I should have tried to take it back to the store and say, I don't have the receipt. I bought this, a few months ago, and I'm having a bad reaction to it. But I didn't. I was stupid and threw it away out of frustration. So that wasn't cheap. It was like $25 or something. To me, that's expensive for makeup. So I told Tony that I have questions like, can I return it if it affects my skin or my, any part of my body that is reacting to it, like my eyes? And I explained what I had gone through when I went in and talked to the girl. But, and so they have a 30-day return policy if you keep your receipt. And you can do like a store exchange, like say I don't like the shade that I got. And that's a whole nother story. And you can either get an exchange or I think she said a store credit. And I'd never been in Sephora before. Oh my gosh. Sephora has every stinking kind of makeup you could imagine, plus perfumes. It was very perfumey in there. Let's just put it that way. So, yeah, it was a tough time to be in the store for me because I'm very, very, very sensitive to perfumes. Again, artificial fragrances. Yeah. I mean, for a long time, Tony was using those air fresheners that plug in, and I had to finally, not plug in, the ones that you just twist the top and you set them on the counter. I finally had to tell him, I can't. You gotta stop using that. I can't do it. So now I'm trying to wean him off of his Irish Spring soap and his Head and Shoulders shampoo. All of it. It's just not good. But anywho, he's a man that, once he's used Head and Shoulders his entire life because he had Cradle Cap as a baby, and that's what his mom told him he had to use. So, yeah. Anyhow, so I had to ask. I was looking around the store, and finally I asked an employee. I told her I was looking for Kosa makeup foundation, or Kosa. I just told her I was looking for Kosa. She's like, yep, it's right over here. If I'd gone 2 more aisles down, it would have been right there. But anyway, that's how it usually works with me. But I couldn't believe that they had a tester of every single shade. And they must have 15 different shades. I mean, I couldn't believe it. They have light, warm, light, cool, light this, light that. Then they have medium, warm and cool, and orange undertone, pink undertone, green undertone, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's overwhelming, all the choices. So, oops, sorry. Phone is plugged in, hit the cord when I was pulling the long thread. So yeah, it's that store had every makeup ever made, I think. Every makeup imaginable. And like every choice in that makeup. So I just wanted to get the foundation and try it. And then if I like it, then I will probably get like the setting powder or whatever. So, and I don't wear makeup every day. I don't get up and immediately put makeup on. I used to, but of course during the pandemic, I didn't. And I go out in public now and I'm very self-conscious of my skin. So I want to start wearing makeup again. So I've just struggled with finding one that's, low toxic and that people recommend and that works for me. Well, I picked up a bottle, one of the tester bottles, and I started with the light ones, and I squirted a little bit right here on my hand because my facial skin is probably a little lighter than this right here. So I squirted it like right there. Don't you know, I squirted a big blob of it out. Oh my gosh. And I'm looking around and there's like, I couldn't find anything like to wipe my hand on. And so I was like, well, that's too light. Of course. So I tried I went towards the medium shades and I think I got the one that's going to work, but I have to try it here at home. And because, oh, that is like so off kilter, it's going a whole different direction. So, yeah, I have to try it here at home because the lighting in the store, not even helpful at all. So I walked around a corner and I picked a shade I wanted. And I walked around the corner and there was a mirror. Now, mind you, I'm 5'1". This mirror was up so high. I tried to stand on my tippy toes, but I have problems with my foot. So I stood up on my tippy toes and I could just see from like the middle of my nose up. That's all I could see of my face. So I tried a little on my cheekbone, and I thought, well, I can't tell. The lighting sucks and the mirror's at the wrong angle. So I said, well, I usually buy too light of a shade. And then I kind of look a little ghostly. And especially in the summer, because I do try and go sit in the sun for a few minutes when it's not broiling hot out there, just to get a little, oh, I don't like that. Just to get a little color on my face. So, yeah. So anyway, so I walked around the corner and there were tissues. There was a little spray bottle that said water on it. So I sprayed I sprayed the glob and all the little tiny. After I globbed it on my hand, I actually got smart and just squeezed ever so tiny a little squirt. And I mean, a little tiny, like smaller than this head of the pin. Smaller than that. Probably more like the head of this pin. Like really tiny. Right? Little tiny, and you could spread it, but it still had really good coverage. So that's what I did with the other colors, the other shades, I should say. Yeah. So I'm such a dork. So, I decided on one, so I went up to the counter, and I never used to do this. Like, I'm really, 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 really bad at like asking questions and kind of like bringing attention to myself in a public place like that. But I said, before you ring this up, I have some questions. And she's like, okay. Nicest people in there, too. All very nice young ladies. And the place was hopping, too. Ugh. And so I asked her if this affects my skin or my eyes for some reason. Like the last makeup I bought, and I told her the story. I said, can I return it? And she said, yes, you have 30 days. And gave me the spiel. And then I said, is it on sale? She said, well, no, I didn't ask that. What was the other question I asked her? Oh, I said, can you tell if this looks okay on my face? And I pointed to my cheekbone, and she's like, well, I don't see it, so it must be okay. Yeah, all right. The lighting in there, terrible. All right, Martha, let's see. Try and get this straight. Well, it's not going to be straight because I started going crooked. Now I'm trying to fix it again, so it's not going to be straight. And then I asked her something else. Can't remember what. Anyhow, so I told her my story of, my trying to find non-toxic makeup and why and so forth. So and she's probably thinking, yeah, lady, you sure need some makeup. Because I do. Because my skin is pink and I have acne scars and I have breakouts. Right now, my nose is breaking out really bad. The whole top of my nose. My chin is breaking out, and it's not fun. And I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong because I'm not doing anything different than I normally do. So, I mean, I had less trouble with my skin when I was wearing makeup than when I was not wearing makeup the last 3 years. So, anyway, then of course she asked me if I was a member, and I'm like, no. And she said, do you want to be? I said, does it cost me anything? Because nowadays, some places you go in there and they're like, do you want to be a member? And you're like, sure. And then they're like, well, that's $19.99 for the year. No, I'm not going to be a member then. No, thank you. So, oh, my foot is falling asleep and I don't know why. I'm not sitting any differently than normal. So, yeah, it was a good conversation, and I became a member because you get a free little gift on your birthday, which is probably something I won't use anyway, unless it's a makeup brush. She tried to, I gave her all my information. You have to give email and phone number and name and birth date and all this. And then, and of course my birthday is coming up, so I should find out soon what it is. And then, of course, you spend so much money and you get, I don't know, $10 off or something for 500 points. So I'm like, yeah, why not? I probably won't go in there a whole lot. First off, I was choking from the perfume in there. And I wanted to get out as fast as possible. And I hemmed and hawed and hemmed and hawed and hemmed and hawed. But she said, well, we're having a sale. And if you're a member, you get 10% off. 10% of $44 is not a lot, but it helped with $44, taking it down to $39. So, it helped a little bit. down here. So, I did sign up. I got the makeup. I told Tony, well, so much for saving $40 by returning the pot and pan set because I just spent it on makeup. And he chuckled. But it's okay. I mean, this makeup is so thick, but it spreads really well. But it's very, it covers really well, and it spreads really well, and it's nice and thick, and it has an SPF in it, which there's mixed reviews about SPFs, but anyway. Anyway, I can't avoid all the things all the time, unfortunately. So when we got to the car, I looked in the mirror and I'm like, ugh, it looks a little bit dark. So I'm going to try it probably tomorrow morning just to see how I feel about it. And I can always go get like a shade or two lighter, exchange it and get a shade or two lighter if I need to. So it's all good. It's all good. It's getting really, really warm in this room because I have the curtain open so I have some natural light. Because if I don't have natural light, it's like I'm sitting in a cave, basically, because it's very dark in here. But the sun, when it comes around in the afternoons in the summer, like the trees are filling out, so there are some leaves, but the sun hits in just such a way that it comes through the top of the sliding glass doors, and it makes it very warm. Oh, the air just came on. Yes. I'm sitting very close to the air vent. The heating and air duct. I don't know, whatever you call it. My feet are falling asleep. So, I didn't think this was going to take so long to do. I'm sorry that it's taking me forever to get through this. Okay. My hands are actually sweating. Hard to hold a needle when you're sweating. Ay, ay, ay. So after that, we came home because it was lunchtime. And Tony went out. Tony had mowed the grass this morning before we left. And in the front, he splits up the yard into front and back. It's not a big yard, but it's very undulating, you know, has a lot of this going on. And so he splits it up into, well, that's not good. Oh my gosh. How am I gonna, now I have to take that out. Sorry. Sorry. I should have realized that was happening. So he splits it up, and it's going to, he did the back beginning of the week. I think I was recording when he was mowing, and I had to apologize a bunch of times for the noise. So we're just going to cut that little puppy off right there. Okay. Thread the needle, Martha. Not going to get much of anywhere if you don't thread it first. Oh, come on. Thank you. My goodness. 10 steps forward and 6 steps back. Some days it's just like that. So he had cut the grass before we left, and then we went up to UPS, and then we went to Walmart, and then we went over by the mall. The store was not in the mall. It was a standalone store outside. Well, not standalone. It's connected to other stores, but it's not inside the mall per se. So, oop, God bless you, Tony. Oof. When we got home, he had to wash the windshield of the car because he thought he had washed it enough yesterday. But there was birdie poo-poo all over it. And I mean all over it from being parked at the car collision repair place. Oops. You know, I couldn't do some of these things if I tried to do them that way, right? But just be sitting here trying to stitch quietly and enjoying it. Yeah, I'm going to catch the scissors. I'm going to catch the pins. I'm going to catch the needle. I'm going to knot the thread. It's all going to happen. Because, you know, that's the way it goes some days. And then traffic. Holy crow. Traffic was crazy. I mean, it was not great going up, but coming back, it was just big trucks pulling trailers, and they're in the wrong lane, and people slamming on their brakes, and people going 10 miles under the speed limit for no reason, just daydreaming, dawdling along. It's like, or on their phones, even worse. This is a hands-free state, but I don't think anybody's out there enforcing it. Okay, don't start curving upward, Martha. Come on. Keep it straight. Use your techniques. Flip it over. Let's cut this one off too, so we don't do the same thing. Good job, Martha. Okay, we're getting there, little bit at a time. Tell you, sometimes I sew better from the back than I do from the front. Perfect. Okay. It's a little close, but that's okay. Don't pull so hard. So between the pollen, which immediately, as soon as we started driving, we had the windows open at first. It wasn't quite warm enough to turn the air on, but we ended up having to turn it on because I couldn't take the pollen anymore. Neither could Tony, really. He's suffering with it just as bad as I am. and I started coughing as soon as I got outside. And then after being in Sephora with all the perfume smell, I literally, my voice was like 4 octaves lower than it usually is. And the coughing just wouldn't stop. Luckily, I bring a water bottle with me. And I drink and drink and drink and drink. Try and clear it out of my throat. And no open door today, because heat and pollen. Ow. Like I said, car thermostat read 90 degrees. And not while we were sitting in the sun. It was while we were driving. So, definitely a hot one today. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Oops, that's a really long stitch. There's a lady I'm friends with on Facebook, and she does a lot of stitching. She does a lot of gardening. She does some dyeing. She's, you know, multi-talented. She used to spin and weave. I think maybe she spins and knits, but she had a little farm with sheep and stuff, and they sold it when things got a little harder for she and her husband to care for the animals and stuff, so, which happens. So, she does a lot of like shishiko and hand stitching and stuff like that now. And so she went shopping at a thrift shop, I'm guessing, a few days, I think it was yesterday or day before. And she scored the coolest Japanese style shirt, like a kimono type denim. Oh, I'm so envious of it. I really like it. And she said she immediately came home and started shishiko stitching on it. So yeah, she's very good at it. She's her stitches are very beautiful and even and way better than me. Oop, let's not grab that with that pin in there, Martha. Okay, we're almost there. We're getting there. I promise we're getting there. I don't think I said, I hope this finds you all well, but I do hope this finds you all well. And I hope that you're having a good weekend coming up. And if you're doing anything special or fun, let me know. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. So I think we're just going to hang tight in the house. I have a bag of ice in the freezer. I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll go downstairs into the basement and do some ice dyeing of just a little bit. Like I have some cotton, I have linen. I need to wash my new cotton linen blend that I got from Artistic Artifacts, the fabric I bought, the yardage. But I have to wash and dry that. No. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, I gotta take this back out again. Sorry. Apologies, apologies, apologies. No fabric softener. Can't use fabric softener because the dyes won't take as well. They may take, but they won't take as well. Okay. All right. You stay. Sit, stay, behave yourself. No shifting. All right. Back to the drawing board, or the stitching board, as the case may be. And of course, I'm right near the end, but I'm going to need more thread. Go figure. And I am using the very fine crochet thread that I wound some on this bobbin so that it's just easier than carrying the ball around. Excuse me. I don't know if I finished my story. When we came home, we had lunch, and then Tony went back out, and I think he washed the car. That's where I started with the car being all full of bird poo. So I think he washed the car and did some other things out there and probably went for his walk. So when he came in from that, the door was shut, and that tells him I'm recording. So he is now watching his basketball game recordings or show recordings that he watches that I don't like to watch. I don't like violent shows. Not my thing. I think there's room for... Ooh, that's going to be tight. Maybe if I bring it over here. Come on, come out of there. Bring it over there a little bit. Do one little short stitch and then tie the knot. Oh, Martha. Come on. You got to do this. Okay. All right. You guys get up there. This is so uneven, all the stitching and stuff. I know. It's uneven. These, oh, and the fabric, these are some batik 5-inch squares, charm squares. It was a charm pack, and I got it a long time ago when there was a quilt shop open a few towns over. And I was very sad when she went out of business. But it is what it is. Can't have everything. She moved to France. That was just prior to, probably 2 years prior, maybe 1 or 2 years prior to the pandemic. So I don't even know if she's still in France or if she's around here again or what. But she had a quilt shop called That Little Quilt Shop. And it was the cutest little shop in the few towns down. And then she moved that shop to Culpeper. She closed the one that was cute. And she just got a storefront here in Culpeper. And it was, she had a combination art and quilt shop. And then she closed that and she left town, left the country. Lucky gal. Okay. I only have a couple more stitches, peeps. I promise. You probably all left by now, but that's okay. I still enjoy doing them. Yep, so we're going to get a big cool down. Next week is only going to be in the 60s and low 70s for many of the days. So that's going to be nice to have spring back again. Cooler temps. Way easier for me to get out and do things then. I am trying very hard. Well, that's crooked, but okay. I'll accept it. It's to hold those there's like 3 fabrics down there that meet. That's all, folks. Okay. Oh, somebody's got blowers going outside. Leaf blowers. The industrial kind. Come on, please behave. All right. So now we just have to trim. I should be using my big scissors, but those things are so big. They're so heavy, and I have to crank my wrist in a weird position to cut with those. So I'm back to using these little ones, and I've used these on paper, so they're not the sharpest ones of my pick, but you know, they are what they are. Come on, Martha, you got this. I need encouragement sometimes. Okay. Whee, lots of little scraps for the scrap bin. Okay. All right, get everything else off of here. Put this in here. Put these in here. I'm just sticking them in for now to get them off of the mat because there's so many of them. So I want to thank everybody for joining me, if you stuck it out. And if you didn't, that's okay too. It is what it is, right? Isn't that what I keep saying? It is what it is. All right. Uh-oh. A pin hanging on. There we go. I think it's very pretty. I like it. I wasn't sure it was going to go, but I might do some more stitches in it eventually. I could take stitches up and down as well. Maybe in the future. I'll see. Oh, not that one. Come on. And I did say this is day 60. 60. All right. Well, thank you, Debbie, for that inspiration. I appreciate it. Yeah, see, I'm going to have to, I think there's going to be a couple places I'm going to have to take a couple stitches just to hold the edges down. But there you go. Lots of fun island colors. So thank you again for being here. I appreciate it. Remember to be kind. I love you all. And have yourself a beautiful weekend. Don't know if I'll be recording or not. Might be time for some really simple, just stitched hearts. So I'm not going to record those probably because really not going to have anything to talk about. Told you everything today. And we're not going anywhere over the weekend as far as I know. So you guys have a great one and take care of yourselves. Be safe, be well, be kind. And I will see you on the next one, whenever that is. Bye.